Charles Feldman's here, US political analyst. Charles, very good morning to you.
Good morning, Mike.
Thanks very much for joining us. A terrible tragedy in Texas. The death toll from flash flooding reached 70 last night, I'm told. I don't know if it's gone up any further. 21 children included as well. It seems as though there was a Christian camp overwhelmed when the River Guadalupe burst its banks on Friday. Sounds horrendous.
Yeah, well, it is horrendous. You know, this is a part of Texas, central part of the state, that is prone to flooding, but no one was expecting the flooding to be nearly as bad as it turned out to be, because nobody, including the National Weather Service, was anticipating the amount of rainfall that they had in a very short period of time. And that camp that you were speaking about, this is a camp that I think was about to celebrate its I think it was a 100th anniversary. It's for quite some time, and it's a very favorite place for people who live in that neck of the woods to send their young girls for summer camp. So this is a double tragedy, the tragedy for the people, of course, who died, who were not attending the camp, but also for those children who were killed. And there are several, almost, I think, a little bit, almost 24 at this point, that are still missing.
Right. It is shocking. It says the river which runs alongside the camp, Camp Mystic, I think it's called, rose from 7 feet to 29 feet. I mean, that's prodigious, isn't it?
Oh, yeah, absolutely. And you know, they had, I mentioned the amount of rainfall. They had rainfall in a period of a couple of hours that they would typically expect this time of year to happen over a period of perhaps an entire month. So when you have that amount of rain falling, you are going to have the kind of situation, the kind of flooding that you had. There are also some questions, I should tell you, Mike, being raised about whether there was adequate warning to the people in the area about the impending amount of rain. Apparently also, not too long ago, there was an effort on the part of officials to get the community to be supportive of a better early warning system, the kind of system that many states here have for tornadoes. But apparently the community turned it down for cost.
Right, and that's always a problem, isn't it? The cost of these things. And Donald Trump yesterday signed a major disaster declaration, which means there will be further emergency funds. In these cases, it's always usually the president that makes a visit. I mean, I always go back to Hurricane Katrina back in the day when I think it was George W. Bush was kind of castigated for not going and looking at it soon enough.
Right, and Mr. Trump says he is planning on going, but perhaps toward the end of the week. He says he didn't want to interfere with the search and rescue mission, and that actually does make a lot of sense. When presidents roll into any town, the focus of attention, the focus of all officials is on the president of the United States, and this is probably not the best time to shift the focus.
No, I think I'd probably agree with that. Meanwhile, Elon Musk seems to have decided to form his own political party. What's that all about?
Yeah, he has. Well, I mean, the fallout, you know, the sort of bromance between Musk and Trump, you know, it's had, as you know, its ups and downs, and it looked like it was mended, but not now. You know, Musk is still very angry about the bill that President Trump signed on the 4th of July. Musk thinks that it's wasteful. He thinks it's going to be a problem for future generations. Trump thinks that Musk is mad because it's a problem for him, because it eliminates an incentive for people to buy electric vehicles. So what Musk has done is, yes, he's formed, I think it's called the America. And the main purpose of the party, I mean, I don't think that Musk intends to run for anything. The main purpose of the party is to funnel money into it, because Musk says, that he's going to use that money to challenge Republican senators who voted in favor of Mr. Trump's bill when it comes time for the midterm elections.
Yes, and I mean, I mean, I've only ever seen occasional presidential contests which tend to involve an independent, and it never really goes particularly well, even if the independent is quite, you know, interesting and has got a reasonable amount of a following. I mean, there's no real system that can allow for a third party to do any good there, is there?
No, you're right. I mean, the U.S. Constitution actually doesn't even talk about political parties. That was something that evolved a few years after
Right.
the country was founded. And you're quite right that for the most part, this is a two-party country, and there are some splinter parties and third parties that come along. What they do tend to do, though, and they've done this a few times in recent presidential elections, is they can sometimes in certain states tip the balance because if you siphon off enough votes from the mainstream
Mm.
parties, whether it's the Democrats or the Republicans, it could, in a particular state, excuse me, for presidential elections, tilt an election one way or the other. That's where they serve a sort of purpose.
So we'll see. We'll keep our eyes on that. Meanwhile, Benjamin Netanyahu, I think, is coming to the White House today.
Yes, and it is expected that the two of them, Mr. Trump and Mr. Netanyahu, are going to announce a 60-day ceasefire. But look, you and I, we've discussed this in the past. I've lost count of how many times there were announcements of ceasefires, 30-day ceasefires,
Right.
15-day ceasefires, 60-day ceasefires. This one is supposed to be a 60-day ceasefire, where Hamas is supposed to be releasing, I think it is 10 more living hostages, and I believe the figure is the last one I saw about 18 dead hostages. The Israelis would be releasing Palestinian prisoners. The Israelis would, according to various reports, withdraw their troops to a buffer zone along Gaza's borders with Egypt and with Jordan. Much more than that really has not been widely reported. One thing that has been reported is that Mr. Trump apparently has insisted that he be the one to announce it.
Yes, we'll keep an eye on that and see how it see how it plays out. Charles Feldman, thank you very much indeed, US political analyst.